Alrighty then, what are we working on today in the shop? Today is, let me let you know, let me get my phone out here so you guys know what day it is, so we show we're not goofing around with anything. Today is Wednesday, 9:53 a.m., October 14th. And what are we building today? Well, today we have a welding project that I talked myself into. And fortunately I'm getting paid for it, so it's not as if I'm talking myself into charitable work, although I do quite a bit of giveaway work, which is fine. That's by my choice and design, and I like doing that, and it benefits people that need stuff to be benefited. But today is a commission job, and as you guys know, if you watch my if you guys know if you've watched my channel for more than 15 minutes, that I like to talk, and I'll talk a lot. And that's kind of good in a lot of ways when you work for yourself, because you got to sell yourself and sell what you can do and sell your skills and sell your craftsmanship and quality and whatnot. So I was doing replacement windows and doors. That last video I did on Friday night, I just finished up a window and door job in a house. And I was talking to the homeowner, and as he was paying me, which was really cool. This guy was awesome. He just, if you've ever worked for yourself, you know that getting paid is sometimes a hurdle, and sometimes you need a goon squad to get out there and make sure you're getting paid. But fortunately, I work for pretty good people. I'm not that desperate to find work that I work for sketchy people. I don't know. I've been very fortunate, let's just say. I'm usually pretty straightforward and upfront with my customers, and in turn, I will only work for straightforward and upfront people. With that being said, we're finishing up this job, and then the owner is talking about a security gate he has in front of his house. And basically what that is you've got your main door that enters to the house. There's a little foyer area, which is probably 10 by 12, and it's kind of within the confines of the house. And then there's an opening that gets you out onto the street, and this opening is the area where this metal wrought iron security gate is, built back in the 40s or 50s. It didn't really have a lock on it. Well, it doesn't have a lock on it. Right now he's got a chain and a padlock to keep it closed, and it's not very sightly. And his neighborhood is not that good. So I started talking about, yeah, I can weld and metal fabricate and this, that, and the other thing. And he says, well, I got this bid from this door company, and it's like $1 kabillion to retrofit this door, this gating system with a electronic release locking system. And I said, well, shoot, let me take a look at the bid to make sure we're comparing apples to apples. And sure enough, man, that bid was like for $1 kabillion. And I said, well, I could do it for a little less than $1 kabillion. And he's like, really? I like you, and obviously I can already vouch for the work that you've done. I've never had, he had 2 quotes from ironworking places in the neighborhood, and he's like, yeah, I already know what kind of work you do. I know what kind of person you are, and I trust you in my house, and if you want the job, you got it. So I said, hell yeah, I'll do that job. I like welding, I like metal fabricating, and that way I can justify buying tools like TIG welders and stuff if I can earn money for it. That's always kind of been my motto. When I pick up these toys like plasma cutters and TIG welders and wire feeds and lathes and stuff, if I can figure out a way I can earn some money with it and pay for the cost, at least break even on the cost of the tool, then everything after that is just bring the biscuits, because that job is gravy. So what are we doing today? I'm already almost $200 into this with materials into this job. So he wants good security stuff. He doesn't want garbage. So I went with a Cal Royal, which is a product of the City of Commerce, California, made in the U.S. This is the deadbolt, right? This is a standard commercial grade deadbolt. This is like 70 bucks for this. No joke. This thing weighs, I don't know, a lot. And then what you have to get, now this was $49.99 for just this part right here. What this part is this takes place of this part of the lock cylinder. Now on a deadbolt, they're much different than a traditional door lock assembly, excuse me. So if you want your security gate to always latch, close and latch, this is not what you need. And you don't want a traditional doorknob on there, because you don't want a doorknob on the back side. You want to have a finger flipper. This is a single cylinder deadbolt. So you've got the flip on the inside of the gate, because by code you need to be able to get out of that gate in the event of a fire or power loss or some sort of emergency. You need to get out of the house. To get from the house to the street, you can't have a key. You can't have anything that locks. So you got a flipper, and then from the street to get in through the gate, you're going to have a key. Now, I've seen people use traditional $60 doorknobs on there from nice Schleg locks and stuff, but that's just not as secure. They're not built as securely as a deadbolt. But what you need to do is you need to replace this piece with this piece. And basically this piece has the back side of a deadbolt, but it has the front side of a traditional lock. And this is a secure lock, right? Where that, when that's pressed in, you can't get in here with a credit card or a screwdriver and pry that open. So this is, like I said, $49.99. What the hell for that little piece? And then this damn thing, $65.99, California. And then on the strike side, right? Traditionally, you would use, where is it? Traditionally, you would use this for your striker to hold the door shut, but we want electronic release, so this is a $45 option. Let me hide the name of the place here. Not that it really matters. I don't know why I'm hiding that. This works off a standard AC doorbell power supply. 18, wait, which way is this camera oriented? 18 to 16 volt, which is a standard transformer you use for a door lock assembly. And then you could either open it with the key or from the inside, or I'm gonna run wires to the interior of the house that are powered, that will release this assembly and allow the gate to open by the press of a button. That's a whole nother, doing the electronics on that is a whole nother deal. So I started using my brain and digging through my hoard of crap, and I decided I would come up with, and I had a bunch of things going on with how I'd build this box out of some good angle iron and then plate it and this, that, and the other thing, and that was a bunch of welding and a bunch of pieces, and I said, well, yeah, I could do that, or dig a little deeper in the hoard, and I found these beam clamp. And I have several of these. Basically, you would bolt this together, and this would clamp onto a steel beam. Okay, and then if you're hanging something or attaching something to this, that's what you have. And this galvanized steel, pretty heavy gauge. But I'm sitting here looking at it, going, well, this is how it's supposed to be used. But if I was a smart fella and I turned one of them around and I went like that. That would allow 1 3/8 inches is what I need. That's kind of a standard door, is about 1 3/8 inches. So I would have a little bit of overlap like that. And I could actually go a little bit wider. I may do 1 3/4 inches. It's an arbitrary number I'm going to pick out of a hat. And then I'm going to weld along here, and that's going to create the box, the lock box that this thing's going to sit in. And if it doesn't make sense to you yet, hang tight. It will as this video progresses. And then what I'll do is I'll cut it. I've got the measurements as to what my setbacks are, and I'll cut it here. One side will house the lock assembly, or excuse me, the lock release. The other side will house the lock assembly. What this will also allow me is to have good welding attachment points, and this is going to be all one piece of steel, which should make it incredibly strong. And then I can use these fins here. I might have to fill all these little bolt holes, but that's not a big deal. And then I can weld this to the gate and get it done. So I think I've talked enough here. Let me see what I can get together on some measurements, and I'll show you how I build this.